All right, guys, welcome to the Reliable HVACR live stream and podcast. So if you can't stay for the whole show, remember that you can watch it or listen to it later on the go on the podcast. What's up? I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces in the chat, and we have a special guest today, the one, the only HVAC guy.
Hey guys.
What's up, man?
I know.
How was work week today? I mean, this week.
Oh, the work week was great. I had a couple of calls that were a doozy.
Yeah, it's getting that time already. We already have like 90-degree weather down here, so it's all AC calls like piling up.
Yep. I think
How's
we just had a cold front come through.
Who you?
Yeah, we just had a cold front come through, so it's going to be in between heating and cooling next couple days.
Yeah, we had a bunch of cold fronts like last month. I think that's over for us already, and we're just 90s. We're gonna get into the high 90s, hundreds, all that fun Texas weather. So let me just look at the chat real quick. We got Zach, Tech Tie, Texas Peach, Richie's in the house, Eddie, Jonathan. What's up, everybody? Zach, Just Work HVAC, and let's see. Ready to watch. Y'all are my top 2 favorite to watch on here. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
I'm sure everybody knows who Curtis is here. He's from the channel HVAC Guy. Super simple. If you ever want to go look for him, HVAC Guy. If you want to just introduce yourself a little bit, like where you're from, what you do, your business, stuff like that.
Where I'm from, well, basically I grew up in South Carolina. I grew up in my family's from around Columbia, but I grew up in North Augusta. And somehow I ended up down here in South Georgia. I actually followed my wife down here. I guess my background started when I first went into college. I went in as studying to be an engineer, and that didn't work out. I think blue collar life is what was waiting for me.
Yeah, I mean, I did the college thing too, and I was actually going for electrical engineering also, or that was what I was going for. I've always liked the whole. I like technology. I like opening up stuff, fixing things. So then naturally, when I got introduced to HVAC, it was like, it was awesome to me, and I got into it, and I love what I do and being able to work on different equipment and just solving problems out there. How long have you been in the field?
I guess a total about 30 years.
30?
But I've been working as a technician. I mean, first I was a helper on a duct crew, and I worked my way up into an install crew, and I did that for a while, and then there was a long hiatus. I worked as a EMT for a while. Worked in a machine shop. I drove a dump truck. I mean, I did all kinds of stuff. Then I got back to HVAC and quickly became a technician. And I guess I've been doing that now for 20 years, right around 20 years.
So I've heard that where people say the best way to get into it, I guess, is to start on the install side, and then they work their way like to service and other like avenues there.
Well, there's an advantage to that because you learn about the airflow side of things, and that's just a crucial thing you got to know. You've got to have good airflow, and if you don't,
oh yeah,
nothing's going to work right. And getting in on that side first kind of helps to teach you that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I'm not super technical with anything I do, and I don't claim to be. I don't want to be like a teacher or anything like that. But whenever people ask me about stuff, I'm like, look at your basics first, right? And the most basic thing is the whole airflow thing. Like, are your coils clean? Filters, blower motors, condenser fans, like all that kind of stuff is the first thing you gravitate to before you start ripping things apart. So, yeah, that's a good little start there. Let's see. What's up, Angel? HVAC boss in the building too.
Oh, hey,
Uh,
Angel.
have you seen him? He had a channel. He hasn't posted. I think he gravitated towards like Instagram now.
Oh, yeah. I saw something where at HR Expo where he was trying to beat some of his coworkers installing a mini split. Did you see that?
I think I posted that one. I don't know if he posted it too, but I posted a clip of it. And the thing is, I got there and I saw them at the booth, and there was a competition to put in, I think, some flares on a mini split or something like that, and then putting the whole thing up. And one of his guys, I guess, felt the pressure a little bit, and he was stumbling a little bit. And then here Angel comes in, and he's like, "Let me show you how it's done." And I think he beat the record and everything there. So that was a good time, AHR.
I kind of
Uh,
wish I had gone now. I basically decided not to go, but and what's it gonna be another 3 years before it's back in Atlanta?
yeah, they cycle between like four cities. So, have you ever been to one?
No.
No, I barely learned about it like maybe 3 years ago, something like that. And it's kind of it's different when you get there. It's very like overwhelming. That's why they have the whole 3 days for you to do it, because I kind of underestimated it, and we walked and walked and walked. It's just a lot to take in, and there's companies that you know of and some you've never heard of, and they're all there, demonstrating new products and stuff like that. It's this year was kind of neat because of the Vito, Milwaukee, and Klein stuff that they had showing off. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
But having it in Chicago in the middle of winter, that to me does not sound like a good idea.
that's the iffy one. The Vegas one was really cool. Atlanta, the weather was nice. And there's another one. I think it's on Orlando as well, but the Chicago one, that's not a good one. Uh, Kraus in the building. Angel always in it to win it. Tito's in the building. Everybody's asking about Tito. He's here. Showed up.
What's up with him? Is I didn't know if he was doing like solar panel stuff or quit doing HVAC, like he got a job and they wouldn't let him do it or something. What's
Oh
going on
yeah,
with him now?
he's like engineering at the hospital. So I don't know if there's not much for him to film there, or if he just can't, like, flat out he can't film. And his solar company, I know he still does it, but I think he wanted to do HVAC videos again. I'm not sure if he's going to come back or not. Can you see the comments?
No, I can't see the comments.
No. Uh, yeah, he showed up here. Let's see. Yeah, Angel's like, Tito's a maintenance guy now. And I deal with those because I work in hospitals. I deal with those that department there. Let's see. Here we have Kraus. Curtis hit the Orlando one. It's pretty
Oh,
close.
oh, that would be sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's from over there. And there's another thing that they have out there, the HVAC School Symposium. That's a cool one also. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
No, I haven't.
Brian Orr from HVAC School, the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He hosts this thing, and it's more like a school thing where you kind of sit in and you have all the instructors going over different things. Like Ty Brenneman is one of my favorite ones to listen to. He goes there. Craig from AC Service Tech. What's the other guy's name? There's a bunch of them that show up to that one. Oh, Tito, I ain't no maintenance guy.
Uh,
Oh yeah, he's doing the contractor school. So that's what he's been busy with now because I tried to get him on the live too, but he's been busy. Yeah, the symposium is more intimate, as Kraus says. It's a smaller thing, and you get to like talk to everybody a little better because the AHR one is it's really cool, but it's very hectic.
Yeah, I understand there were a bunch of booths there that I would have liked to go see.
Yeah, it's really cool, and like the one that Angel did. There's a bunch of them that do like competitions, like that RLS one. They had a press competition to see who could press something the quickest and stuff like that. So
I see.
hold on. So let me pull up some questions that I had. I don't want to forget about those. So you are in business, for yourself. How long have you been doing that?
I've been in business since early 2011. I
2011.
actually started the business in 2010 technically, but I was still employed,
Oh, okay.
and I was just getting ready, and then in 2011 jumped in with both feet. I had no advertising. I had very few customers. I just gave it a shot and it turned out okay.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions on that too. Like, should I start this and that? But I mean, it's a process. Like, I've been through it too. We started in 2007, and my dad started it, so he went through basically what you did. He was working somewhere. He got everything ready to start his business, and finally, when he left the company that he was working at, he could go full time. Because I remember going on the weekends, waking up real early because he already had side jobs lined up and everything, and we go do our repairs and service calls on the weekends, and I would go and I was just his helper at the time. So we've been through all that, and there's ups and downs. There's a lot of that um, stress, stuff like that.
Well, I guess initially it was very stressful for probably the first 3 years. Total combined, I probably paid myself $14,000. In fact, I know that's what it is. I mean, I didn't pay myself hardly anything, and I couldn't have done it if my wife hadn't have been working.
Yeah, that happens because yeah, like my dad for the longest time. I mean, it was like he couldn't, and I wasn't getting paid either. When I was a helper or whatever, I had another job, and I would go and help him when I could. He wasn't really paying himself either, so it's an investment, is what I want to call it. It's like you're not gonna be banking right away. You're not gonna be a $1 million company or anything like that. You got to build up to it and then learn all your mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has to go through that whole like first year of progressing and all that. So,
Yeah, it's not
uh,
just a first year.
well, yeah,
Some of my mistakes was working for people who don't really give a flip about you and don't care if you get paid one way or another, and you end up isolating those people real quick.
yeah. Like a question I had here is, should you open up your own HVAC business? Why or why not? Now, when you opened up yours, did you see it as like something that was easy, to build or get money from or anything like that?
No, it was not easy. Um, First of all, you need to have some kind of financial support from somebody else. Um, because like the first year, I don't know, you kind of need to bill out like at least 300,000 in a year to have any kind of respectable income, and you're
Hmm.
not going to do that right away. I mean, it's going to take time. Um,
Yeah.
it was not easy, but once I became established and I had my good customer base and got things going, it was the best decision I had made in a long time.
Yeah, so like, well, my dad already had experience on the hot side, so he doesn't do HVAC. I always have to clarify that because some people are like, "Oh, you're just you work for your dad. You're just I don't know what they call it," but I'm like, "No, I'm a first generation. My dad does hot side, so for him, I did benefit from him opening a company because he did that first, but it was a cooking equipment repairs and service. So then he's like, I need somebody to do HVAC because that was like, there's good money in that. And what I always tell people is like, if you're looking or thinking to get into the trade, whether you just want to get into the trade or you want to start a business, to me, HVAC is never going away. So like everybody needs heating and cooling, and then a lot of businesses and people in general too need their products like stuff you keep refrigerated or frozen. That's always going to be in demand. And then like if you get into hospitals or anything else, I do light commercial, so I don't get into too much of that. But you have medicines, you have blood, you have all this other stuff, chemicals that you got to refrigerate. So it's always like a good thing to get into the trade. And I would highly suggest if anybody here listening is thinking about starting a business, obviously have your ducks lined up and have everything ready, have some money put aside. Think of it as an investment, but it's in demand all the time and it'll never go away. The whole um, lockdown and stuff like that happened a few years ago, it's kind of proof that it doesn't go away. We stayed busy throughout that whole thing.
Oh, we did too. We did too. At that time, I had one employee, and we never slowed down. And in fact, some people, I had a boom in change outs because people were thinking they're not going to be able to get their equipment.
Oh
And
yeah.
that didn't actually happen for like a year later before we had our shortages. But yeah, we are recession proof. As long as you're competent and you know at least half of what you're doing. I mean, I think a lot of times you got to go in with the mindset, leave it better than you found it.
Oh
And
yeah.
as long as you're competent and you do the right thing by your customers, like if you do something wrong or if you got to go right back the next day, do the right thing. That's all they want. They don't expect you to be perfect.
No, and I had to learn that the hard way. My dad already knew that. My dad had been, dealing with customers for a lot longer than I did. And I was always worried about messing up or making mistakes or anything like that. And then I would hate to have to go and explain myself to the customer if I ordered the wrong part, I put something in wrong, or I blew something up. I don't know, like stuff happens. And my dad's like, my dad's like, just be honest with them. Or, if a part's taking too long to come in, you got to give them the options. They choose how to spend their money. And like the main thing is you have to be upfront and honest with all your customers. And then as far as like the work that you do, nobody's perfect, but if you can take pride, just try to make it better, and then you yourself, like I say, always be better. And what I mean by that is like every day be better than you were yesterday. Just because like that's what the customer sees. Like they see the and I always tell people take before and after photos too. Like that's a good form of advertising. Like we don't really do advertising, but before and after photos, something the customer can see. Like if you cleaned up around the unit, inside the unit, tidied up things, all that stuff goes a long way.
Oh, I need to
Uh,
start doing before and after pictures,
yeah, look, let me
especially the insides of a unit.
yeah. I don't know. I think I had a question on that. I'll look for it right now, but oh yeah, do you okay, like do you do mostly residential? Do you still do any
Yeah.
commercial?
Yes, I do some commercial. I do more light commercial than I do the big stuff. In fact,
But you
I've written off doing chillers and stuff like that because it takes at least half a day, even if it's just 10 minutes down the road. It's going to take you half a day on a chiller. So I don't
oh,
do chillers anymore, but I do light commercial and some of the bigger stuff, just not a
so
lot.
you're pretty diverse, and you've worked on chillers and bigger equipment.
Oh yeah,
Nice. See, I'm light commercial. I kind of stick to what I know. I do mostly refrigeration. That's what I consider myself, is a refrigeration tech. I stay in kitchen, so walk-in coolers and freezers, under counter coolers, anything you find in the kitchen. And I took a class, like an industrial class, when I went to school, going over chillers and all that, but I've never touched them. I stay like in my lane. We've never offered, and that's another thing, is like when you start a business, you might try and do too much, and then you learn like how to pace yourself and what kind of work you want to take. So that's another
well,
big thing too.
somebody gave me some good advice a long time ago. They basically said pick one thing and be the best at that one thing.
That's kind of how I look at it too. Like we used to do, I think we used to do way too much when we started, and I was like, no, like we're mostly a kitchen company, right? We work in commercial kitchens. I'm gonna stay there. I'm not gonna do too much. I don't do installs. I don't do like designing or anything like that. I'm service and repairs, and we do change outs. We do installs here and there, but nothing major. And then like I said, light commercial. I don't like to go too far into the heavy stuff. So so okay, you do residential and commercial. Do you have a preference? Because I
I
think I've
pref-
heard you talk about like the, as far as like what you can make residential versus commercial on certain calls.
yes, I do hear people say sometimes that commercial, there's better money in it, but the time you have to spend on it, to me, just kind of evens that out. I prefer the I prefer the residential. On a busy day, I can knock out 8 to 10 calls, and I mean, just something as simple as a condenser fan motor can be a $600-700 call. And if you're doing 8 to 10 of those a day, um,
Mm.
my pay is equal to anybody that's doing commercial work.
Okay, yeah, yeah. If you're doing residential, I mean, the benefit is you kind of like, I guess you kind of give yourself a little radius of like how far you want to go, and then you can knock out like call after call after call. Because like what I have to tell people, like when they ask me like how many calls do you run, honestly, it's probably never more than four, unless they're super simple and all close to each other. Because I got to drive 2 hours one way, 1 hour another way. Like it adds up. I'm probably driving half of my day or more, and then my calls are kind of quick. So, uh, I mean, everybody's different. So I understand like you prefer your residential. You can knock out more there, and it's just like, and you're by yourself right now.
Yeah, I have decided to keep it that way.
Okay. Yeah, we're like down to four guys right now. It's like me, my dad, my brother, and then one other guy. So we each kind of do a certain part of the work, and it works out that way. Every now and then we kind of hire like a helper or something like that. Um, so do you have to hire a helper sometimes, or do you just subcontract anything that's too much for
Um,
yourself?
well, I'm lucky on the subcontractor end. I've got two options. One of them is another company who is willing to take on my work, and another one is a subcontractor who actually used to work for me. Um, so I sub out my installs or the change outs unless it's something simple that I can do like on a weekend. I might do one myself. Um,
Gotcha.
but even sometimes a job that might be a two-person job, like a
Hmm.
5 ton coil or something,
Hmm.
I generally do them by myself.
Oh, really? Man, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Let's see. And then I'm just reading the Instagram questions I had. Uh, okay, so since you do residential, did you ever get into like advertising?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
how do you do that part of the aspect of work?
Well, the advertising, I was actually advertising on TV,
Oh, really?
and just imagine the cost of doing that is like putting somebody on payroll, but they're not actually working for you. It's your advertisements on TV. That's how much it costs.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see much benefit to it. The only time I ever saw a real benefit to it was when I was running a special. I did like a $49 special for a preventive maintenance, and I could tell every time the commercial ran because I would start getting phone calls. But honestly, I'm to the point now I don't do any advertising. Well, I do have an ad in the yellow pages, so I do have that. But I don't do any advertising anymore unless you consider my van and the wrap on it advertising. But I did in the past. I did do the TV thing, and I did that for like 6 months. And except for that one campaign, I didn't see hardly any benefit to it at all.
So like okay, so you did TV advertising, and I've seen the whole maintenance thing is what gets people, like the specials,
Yeah.
because around here we have the billboards and it's like, 50 to 60 bucks maintenance special or whatever. Now on the commercial side, I'm looking at it like, how can they do that or whatever, but I don't know. I've never done residential. I don't know how that works or anything like that, but we've
Well,
seen the
it's getting
billboards.
your foot in the door.
Yeah.
Most of the time, when somebody's calling for a $49 special, you might understand this. They're calling for a preventive maintenance, but there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And they know it. They don't want to pay the $70 diagnostic. They would rather pay the 49. So they call you on that and you find it and you may get a repair out of it. And during that campaign, I actually got several change outs because that's what they needed.
That's how it goes. I always tell people that's how we stay busy all year, is like during the downtimes we do maintenance, and then just keep an eye out for anything that they need. Like, I don't know, you go there for maintenance and they might not even know of all the issues that their system has, and you can bring it to their attention, change out some stuff, and you get extra calls through all that.
Mhm.
Did you use anything? I had somebody ask me about like Angie's List or any of those kind of services. Have you had any experience with that?
When I started out, there is Craigslist still around? I
It's
don't
still
even.
around, but I don't know who uses it.
I tried that. I got zero calls from that. Nothing. Um, I tried everything. I mean, I had everything I could on like Facebook. I did the Google ads for when people search. I had a website. I read an entire book on search engine optimization, built my own website, and had it ranking at the top every single time for years and years. And I don't think it did me hardly any good at all.
So is it just like, do you do anything else, or is it just word of mouth?
Just word of mouth. That's all I do right now.
Word of mouth?
But I don't know if the search engine optimization and the website, I don't know if all that did. It's hard to tell because you can't track calls that come from because you're using just one phone number.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
like
tried everything.
like for us, it's word of mouth. I tell people I don't bother too much trying to buy advertisement anywhere. And for commercial, I'm not looking for homeowners or anything like that. I need to speak to certain people to get my foot in the door. So The only other form of advertising is we still do business cards, but we also do like little brochures. Sometimes we do flyers, and we kind of hand them like that as a package. And I just tell people like if you stand out a little bit, that helps. And then obviously be friendly and treat them good and get them to trust you to call you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kraus, precisely. Foot in the door. Let me see what's going on in the chat. Eddie likes how your van turned out.
Uh, well, thank you.
Is that done already? You're happy with it?
Yeah. I, I don't know if you're like me, but I get people constantly contacting me wanting me to feature their products in videos. It's kind of like a product sponsorship, and
Yeah.
I don't take those, but one of them was offering stuff for solar panels and chargers and all that stuff. And I thought, would I do that to my van? I have no use for it. So I'm just like, no. Um, but yeah, I get offers like that almost every day.
It
There's
it's up and
there
it's up and down for me, but like I have to turn a lot of them down.
yeah. Now there's there's one that I'm probably gonna take. It's a company out of California that's starting a tech school for HVAC that's partnering with Auburn University. And it's called Preppy. I may jump on board with that one because their part of their message is you don't need a 4 year degree. You don't need to go into debt to get a good career and make good money. Um, and when I was in high school, that's for us was that hey, you got to go to college. And I wish somebody had sat me down and I could have got into HVAC right away, right out of high school. But they acted like that wasn't an option.
Yeah, that's what I like about the whole community online now, because like there's YouTube, there's Instagram, and now I've even seen people growing on TikTok, just spreading the word. There's a bunch of people that are doing podcasts now. There's a bunch of people starting YouTube channels. Um, the whole like even like the funny like meme stuff is going around, and it's just like good to get the conversation going. And I think there's one that I'm trying to get a hold of because they had emailed me and I missed their Zoom call because like I get called in all the time. I didn't. It's hard for me to sit at a computer during the day, but there was one too that did something like that where they did online training and stuff, and it was really affordable, and I thought that was cool. So we'll see if that works out. But but yeah, like that's what I always tell people is I wish they would give kids the option to, or at least talk to them about trades, because like nobody ever told me any of that either. Like you go to school and you take all, or you pick something that you might not even use your degree for. I have so many friends that have the like a business degree, and there's another one that was very common, and they never used it. They couldn't end up getting a job or something like that. And if you could just get introduced to the trades, no matter what trade it is, they're always looking for good tech. So I wish that would get talked about more with the younger people.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so let's see. Do you have your business set up with like a CRM software or anything
No,
like that?
I do not use that. I because it's just me, I
Yeah.
don't need one. Um, I use QuickBooks Online and a Google Calendar. I have a Google email address that I just use for the calendar, and
Oh, okay.
I use that to move calls around and schedule things, and I've been doing that for years, and that works out just fine.
Yeah, everybody has their own way. Yeah, if anybody is listening, we have a jobber over here at our business, but I think they just started a new plan, and because I get asked about software a lot, and I tell people like it's, I mean they get, I'm sponsored by Jobber. I will be upfront about that. They give me their most expensive plan or whatever. I don't use any of the features on it, to be honest. So right now, what they have is like a whole $9 plan where you get one user and you can just invoice and quote. So I like that they did that. That's cool for somebody starting out. I mostly use it just to kind of organize myself a little bit, but I never learned QuickBooks honestly. But we were looking for something because we were doing paper invoices like honestly right before, probably less than 5 years ago, and I hated doing that because I had a few guys at that point. We had a few guys, and I could never read any of the handwritten stuff, and I had to be calling and guessing, and so I'm glad that we switched to a software to organize us. But
Well,
yeah, it's
with
just a question I
QuickBooks
get.
Online, I was able, when I had several techs, I would have each tech with an iPad in their van, and they could enter in modeling serial numbers. They could even add pictures. They could do an invoice or an estimate right there on the job. And if I sent them out there and said, hey, let me see your invoice before you do it, they could just hit enter, save it, and then I could pull it up and look at it and maybe change it myself
Mm,
and save it and say, okay, now you're ready. Or they could work up the whole bill, do the whole job themselves right there on the site and collect and receive payment, all with just QuickBooks right there on the site.
yeah, and back then, our guys were not good with their phones. They were breaking their phones all the time, so I wouldn't trust them with a with a tablet. But uh, we do have the guys with laptops and all that, so we've upgraded. But man, yeah, we were doing paper for the longest time, and I have to deal with it because I do all the billing and stuff.
What kind of laptops are you using?
I got them Chromebooks. I didn't want to get them anything crazy.
I started using, when I was using laptops before QuickBooks became as mobile as it is now,
Hmm.
I was using the Panasonic Toughbook computers, and I've got two of them still. Those things are just bulletproof. There ain't nothing wrong with either one of them. They're just old and have kind of a small screen, so I don't use them.
Yeah. Now, like, yeah, like now I was gonna use a laptop myself too, but I got so used to doing it on my phone now. So I do a lot of my invoicing and all that, or pulling up uh, anything. I do it on my phone. Let's see. Cross already knew what was coming. Don't you dare plug it. Hey man, that's my only sponsor right now, I think. So, but I like what Jobber does, and I don't want to get into it too much. We're not here to talk about Jobber, but um, they are part of the whole thing where they're bringing the trades to light. They're currently trying to build up their YouTube channel where they have, and I've been interviewed to be featured on there too. I just have to wait my turn, but they have people that are doing lawn care, that are doing plumbing, all this other stuff, and they get them in a room and sit down and talk about how to start a business, how to get paid consistently and quicker. Like they're part of that whole awareness, so that's why I like them too. That's why
Well,
I'm working with them.
I'm gonna tell you, if you start a business, you better get used to getting paid 30 days later.
Yes, that's a thing that I don't think people realize. You don't get paid right away. Um, so for you, it's is it 30 days with your residential
Well,
stuff?
with residential, if it's not from a rental company, if it's a homeowner,
Hmm.
I might get paid right on the spot. If it looks like
Oh, okay, yeah,
somebody, if it's somebody I know and I've done business with them before, I might just bill them and expect to get it later. And
yeah.
that to me is always, even if it's a good customer, that to me sometimes they might forget, and if they forget and if I forget, it might be 3 months down the road before I realize I've got an overdue invoice.
Yeah, we've dealt with that too, because like I get busy and I forget to check on things, and then my dad too. He's busier than I am, to be honest, year round, doing the whole cooking equipment stuff. And it's like we got to be on top of it too, because like if we both forget, the customer lets it slip. You have to track it down and make sure you get paid for that. But yeah, we do commercial accounts, so obviously we do have to wait to get paid. And that's another reason why we kind of try to streamline our invoicing and quoting and all that. Because if I can just email it out and get it done as soon as I finish, the job, we get paid like so much quicker. Um, and we still get paid by checks, by mail, and stuff like that. So it takes time.
Yeah, I've started getting a larger portion of my payment paying through QuickBooks through the email. There's a link where they can pay in the email. So I've started getting a larger portion being paid that way.
Yeah, I see. Let me look at the chat real quick. $30. I got shit from 120 plus days.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the truth. I got some, it just says 90 plus days overdue. That's all it says.
Yeah,
I don't know how long it's been out
yeah.
there.
Let's see. Montana Music Group. What's going on? Emmanuel live in South Florida. He works with his father, who's a licensed electrical and HVAC contractor.
Learn everything you can, buddy. It's a good trade.
He's gonna take his test on Monday for trade knowledge part. Any advice going forward in general with business and how to successfully build a name from the ground up?
Well, part of that we've already covered.
Yeah,
Be honest. If you make a mistake, make it right. Don't try to bill them twice for something when you've only gotten right once.
that's
So
that's yeah, and that's how we get customers is when they get tired of another company doing that kind of stuff, billing them for all this stuff that never got the unit even working, and then they call somebody else. So they'll get a second opinion, and you'll lose a lot of jobs like that. Daniel, residential where I'm from in SoCal is all commission. Sales guys with tool bags. He does commercial and kitchens now, but he
sales
misses.
guys with tool bags.
Yeah, I've seen those, and apparently it's a lot of California that I've seen that
What in the
complaint from.
world? So they don't fix them? They just sell them a new one?
I don't know. It is a thing because the whole commission thing. And I think it's like with, I mean, it's only certain companies, but some of them are bigger companies. Um, they go in there with the mindset to give them a new unit instead of repairing. But I mean, that's not every company. I'm not saying that about every company, but the whole commission thing, I'm not on board with. We don't do anything. We don't even sell equipment anymore. A lot of our customers buy their own equipment, so I could care less if they want a new unit or they want to keep putting money into whatever they have. I will gladly get it
Well,
going.
that's similar to what I do with home warranties. I know
Oh
some
yeah,
people just talk trash about them, but
yeah,
if they want to replace a new unit, they might want to buy their own. But there are still ways for me to make the same amount of money that I would if it were a regular paying customer. It's there. You just have to know how to work the system.
yeah. We did warranty work because we have a lot of local suppliers that sell to like restaurants and stuff, and we made sure that we got in there too, and we were on the list for warranty work. I did a lot of ice machine warranties and a lot of like reach-in coolers and freezers, and whatever. I mean, I think I only had issues with one that was very like stingy, but either way, like you do the work, you get paid for it. They'll cover your labor or whatever. Usually they buy the parts or they give you the parts to fix it, but you can still make money. It's just you got to be smart about it.
The ones I work for, they only want to supply the most expensive parts.
Oh, really?
Like
Okay.
anything, like a condenser fan motor, I just replace it. And
Oh,
I
okay.
bill basically because nobody else is doing home warranty around here. I basically give them my cost, and that's what they go with. They don't try to talk me down because they need me. So I'm getting basically my price. I'm not doing work for half the price or anything like that. I'm getting my price for doing the work. And if they want to supply an evaporator coil or a compressor, hey, that's fine. But there's still ways for me to make my money. And that might be a whole nother video topic if people are wanting to try to get into business and don't have a customer base. But there are ways to make your money.
Yeah, I try to go over that in one of my videos. I'm like, there's different ways, especially when you start out, right? Because you don't know what you don't have your clientele. You don't have you might not know where to get customers from. One of my things was also the warranty thing. I mean, nobody, even on the commercial side, nobody likes to deal with warranty. Sometimes it's a hassle, and people talk down about it. But that kept us in business for a good while when we had our, like I said, it's always ups and downs, and there was a down point, and warranty actually kept us in business or kept money coming in. So there's a whole bunch of ways to keep money coming in and stuff like that. Okay, Angel, what question were you asking, Angel? I think we already answered the one because he asked about how many guys you had, but it's just a one-man show.
Yeah, I got up to 5 people, and it was just a nightmare. I don't like talking bad about anybody, but I had a bad experience with my employees.
Yeah, we had also because like we're a family business, but it's like me, my brother, and my dad right now. But when we hired, my dad hired his brothers, and I even had a cousin that worked for us too, and they were the worst, to be honest. Um, they take advantage sometimes. You have to deal with all this
It's
stuff when
even
you
worse when it's
hire.
family.
Yeah, and it still happens. Like if you think your relative, your brother, if you think about it, you would think you can trust them more, but it still happens. And we had that whole issue. We had so many issues with that. So we kind of corrected that. I still have an uncle that does work with us and stuff like that, but we're very on top of like that kind of stuff because like we don't like getting taken advantage of or anything like that, but it happens.
Well, let me tell you the peak of what was happening to me when I had those employees. I had a dispatcher secretary who was sending jobs to one guy who was doing them on the side. Not,
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it. She knew about it and he knew about it, but it wouldn't come across in QuickBooks. And I didn't realize it until I get a call to a house and one of my thermostats is on the wall. And according to QuickBooks, it's the first time we've been there.
Yeah.
And then
We
I
had
realized that that these two have been working in cahoots against me. Oh, I was upset.
the almost same exact situation. So we had like I do commercial, so I don't want to name the places that I'm at right now, but we used to do IHOPs, and there was a whole thing where we relied a little too much on them because we were there. There's so many down here that we were making good money. They were keeping us busy all the time. We didn't really have other work besides them and some local places. So at one point, two of our guys who were relatives, uh, they decided to get together and kind of go to them, or I don't know if one of the managers had talked to them, and they decided to be the maintenance guys for the whole uh, IHOPs down here. And then we get a call that they're no longer going to use us, and then we find out, that two of our guys left to go work for them. So they took basically our whole clientele right there, and we had nothing at
Oh,
that point. And even we had that same situation where they might be using, especially like refrigerant for side jobs and stuff like that. So we've been through all that too. It's unfortunate, but it does happen, and you just have to learn from it. Let's see. I think I got through my Instagram questions. Okay, let me look at the chat real quick.
I was going to tell you that same guy that this dispatcher was sending calls to,
Yeah,
kind of under the table. You mentioned that you had an account taken from you. I have an account that I have now that has like 6 apartment complexes, and each apartment complex has 50 to 200 apartments in it. That employee took that whole account and was doing side work with my materials to profit himself.
that's the thing. And then like when stuff like when stuff like that happens, because like for me, I don't really need too much help on the HVAC side. I have my brother that helps me. We do pretty good together, and then our other guy does both hot and cold side. So he works, if he needs to cover for one of us, he can do that. But my dad needs help on his side on the cooking equipment, and after stuff like that happens, he just doesn't want to hire anybody. That's the problem that we have now.
I
And
get it. I get
it
it.
get
That's part of the reason I'm by myself.
yeah, it gets in your head. Like, let me see. Kraus had a question. Uh, do you track KPI for yourself?
Wait a minute. What's KPI?
I don't know. I was gonna ask that too. All right, Kraus, we need some more information. What's KPI? Let's see. As a one-man show, you'll never be able to sustain extra techs. Can't offer what bigger companies offer. Uh, I guess it
I
depends on your outlook, like how you want to go about your business.
look, I was offering some of the same benefits at big companies. I was um I was offering health care, which honestly nobody took part in, but I was offering a health care plan. I was doing health care and paying them, and they were doing all that to me. So yeah, I had a bad experience. I know everybody's not like that. I know that. I just had a bad experience.
Yeah, it just depends because like with you, you're happy being the one man show, and you're profitable. You're making what you want to make, obviously, and you're doing good for yourself. And it's the same thing with us. Like I said, we're four guys right now. Usually we're five, but we're down to four right now, and it's profitable. When we had more guys, we didn't make enough money, and it didn't work out. And once we downsized, we made way more money than we ever did. So we're happy being a small company for now, but I mean, obviously, there's always room to grow. It's just everybody's
Well,
different.
people don't understand. I'll give you an example. If you hire somebody right now that's making $22, $25 an hour, that literally is going to cost you 65 to $70,000 a year to support this person. When you start talking about workers' comp, your vehicle insurance, fuel, not in the social security and stuff that you have to add in, it all adds up. and it's hard for one person to produce over 65, $70,000 by himself. So it's really hard to start adding people. When you do, your profit margin starts going down.
Yeah, it narrows quickly because, like, I mean, and this was not, we weren't some big company either or anything. We added a few guys, and then like, and we had a lot of work, but it doesn't translate easily. Like, you have to have enough, you have to be making enough to keep several guys on your payroll. And like for us, it just didn't work out. We made way more money just downsizing to like 4 or 5 guys. Um and I remember back in the day, like I had to wait, or I had to go weeks without getting a paycheck, and I was fine with it. I tried to make sure I uh maintain myself to where I'm stable and I can kind of wait to get paid and stuff like that. But we had to go through all that stuff, and that's when we were doing well, but we added guys, and it just didn't work out. So then we downsized, and we've never had issues since then. And we do get overwhelmed with work sometimes, but it's not it's not impossible. Like we'll get to it, and we're honestly quicker than a lot of the bigger companies out here because they have even more work. And I think that's the one complaint is that, at least around here, is that the companies take forever to get out there, and we try to get out there the same day. And sometimes I can make it there within an hour or two, and they're pleasantly surprised. So um, that's just how it is. Oh, Kraus. Key performance indicators: average ticket, average call duration, type of call, stuff like that.
Yes, I do keep track of some of that stuff. Like my average ticket, it really depends. If I take out the change outs, the really large ones, and I separate all the others, my average invoice, and you're talking about some of them are just $70 diagnostic. That's it. Or it's just
Yeah.
an $89 preventive maintenance. That's it. That's all the money you make. My average is still over $400 without my change outs. So, like I said, if I'm doing 8 calls during a busy day, that's 8 calls where I'm averaging four, maybe $500.
And that's what it is. Like we have those too. Like our cheapest could be like $75 or something like that. And on the commercial side, it does kind of average out like to what you're saying. I don't keep track of it too much, but yeah, I didn't know what KPI was.
Well, some of
Uh,
the other things that I keep track of, I don't really see until like the end of the month or the end of the year, and that's like how much profit I made in that month,
oh
and I
yeah, yeah,
compare it to the previous year.
we do that too. We keep track of that kind of stuff. I don't have it in, or my dad takes care of more of that kind of stuff. Uh, didn't mean to come out as an insult. We're okay. We just wanted to go over it. No harm done.
But it
Uh,
is true. If somebody who's offering 401k and health care, and
yeah.
it's hard to compete with that. And the only reason I was able to offer health care is because of what everybody calls Obamacare. That's what I was using, but nobody partook of it. Nobody participated.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of the harder parts to compete with, that kind of stuff, the benefits and all that. But
But even still, using that, you're going to have to pay half of their healthcare costs. If their healthcare is 400 a month or 800 a month, you're going to be paying $400 a month to help them with their healthcare. And I was willing to do that at that point.
yeah, and I'm not taking it, or we're not taking it as an insult. It's just the way we operate. Like Curtis is a one man show. I like that we're kind of small on my side. And there's a lot that you have to take into consideration. Like you said, the employees, if you're going to give them insurance or benefits or anything like that. Um, I mean, you have to give them vans. You have to get insurance on the vehicles. Um, you have to give them equipment too. Like everything adds up.
It adds up a lot.
It's very pricey to take on a new employee because I have people that message me all the time because I got a lot of people that watch that are from around where I'm at, and they want a job or whatever. They want to be a helper, and I'm like, I can't right now. That's a lot to take on. It's not like, hey, just come for me and I'll pay you whatever. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So um, just think about that if you guys are trying to open up a company or anything like that. If you're looking to hire, it's a big deal.
I would say don't hire somebody until you just can't do it by yourself anymore.
Yeah, you can't do it yourself and you can't afford to turn away work, then that's probably when you should. Some of the guys in the chat are asking about your pup.
Oh, my pup's doing fine. He's probably about 20 pounds now. When I
Oh,
brought him
really?
home, it's been about 3 weeks ago. He was like 11 or 12 pounds. He's been gaining weight and growing fast.
Yeah, man. I saw him in your van tour, and how long have you had him?
About a month.
Oh, okay. Man, they get big quick. We got Tito here. You guys should have at least been nominated for the awards. I don't know if you heard of the HVAC Tactical Awards.
Yeah, I learned about it this year.
Yeah, it's I think this is the third year. The first one was just they did something online and they gave out or mailed out some awards.
Excuse me, guys.
Tito, but I think Ben got wind of Tito because he's been uh what do you call it? He felt very strongly about that. But I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. It was somebody can nominate us next time. Maybe we
Yeah.
should do a small campaign at the end of our videos when it comes up next year. Hey, how about nominate me if you think I deserve it? But
Well, yeah. Well, the way they do it, because I was wondering the same thing. The way they do it is all you need is one nomination. So if you guys ever see that come up, you go to the HVAC Tactical website and you just have to nominate a person once, and they're in. But they have like a committee that they have like their own little circle, and they'll judge and pick uh, who the winner is, basically. So that's how that works. Let's see. See if we have any questions. Oh, how about this one? Do you have anyone to cover for you when you take time off?
I don't take time off.
No time off.
I can I can squeeze in maybe 3 days if I need to go to a family funeral or something like that. But other than that, I just don't.
And that's one of the I guess one of the cons if that's important to some of you people out there. I have a hard time taking time off too, but I do it. If it's on the weekend, it's even better. I don't have to worry about missing too much work. But um, we, and being such a small company, we cannot all take the same few days off or anything like that. So we have to work around it. But it's hard. Like today, I worked today. I made it to the live show, but I worked earlier today. We work all year round. Sometimes I work weekends, late nights. So uh Kraus back in here. For both of you. Adrian, what is your breaks even for the week, month versus with employees and now? Is there like a quota that you give yourself?
A quota?
Like what do you have to
Um,
make?
Honestly, because everything I have is paid for. I don't have anything financed. a break even comes easy for me if I make just $200-300 profit 5 days a week. I'm breaking even.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We kind of do the same thing. Like, I don't get a brand new van, or like our guys don't either. Like, try to get a nice van that's newer, that has good mileage on it and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff we have is owned. We don't have to worry about stuff like that. We had a problem before where, like I said, when we had a lot of employees, because we don't even have an account at our Johnstone anymore, like a credit account, because our guys were just running up the bill. And then, sure enough, as soon as like we let them go and everything, we go empty out their van. They have like the same part over and over and over. They were just too lazy or too unorganized to find anything, and they were just buying the same parts again and again and again. So that was a whole thing. But around, we kind of do the same thing around there. Like, our break even is, as long as we're profiting every day a few $100, something like that, we're good. Let's see. Maru, do people work without a contractor's license?
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, that's
Yeah.
a big thing. Yeah.
Lots of people. And in fact, there's a rental company around here who will only use people who don't have a license.
Oh,
And
really?
there's been a concerted effort with people in the Conditioned Air Association of Georgia to go after this rental company, and doesn't seem like there's anything we can do to stop them.
It, yeah, that's
I mean, they're
that's
using them
gotten
for
on my
change
nerves.
outs.
Yeah, that's gone on my nerves too, because like I had mine right away, you know. But I mean, I went to school, I got my EPA, I got a like a the certification that Texas requires, and then I got my license. So I had everything, and I went, even like buying refrigerant, you should have your EPA and all that. But if I see it all the time, I would walk into a supply house, and if they were just buddies with the counter guy, stuff like that, they get away with it. They don't require them to show anything, and a lot of these guys just do. I mean, some of them do legit work. They don't get asked for their license, or some of them do side jobs and get away with it, unfortunately. And that is a problem that we have. And then those people are the ones that give everybody a bad name, when they do shoddy work.
Oh,
And
I have seen it.
and then they put, like, we have customers that put things in place for us to, like, I had to sign a paper at a hospital, like, as I got there and as I left, because there was vendors that were taking advantage and charging a whole bunch of hours. And then I've had customers that make us go through hoops to sign in and out when we're on a job site, because there's bad work, or there's people working without a license and they get away with stuff, or get away with billing. They get paid. I don't know how, but they get paid still. And then they don't trust the next company, which ends up being us.
It's a big problem down here. It's a big problem.
And I guess it is everywhere, but like, because I've seen it here a lot, and I'm like, I don't know if it's just where I'm at or what, but it happens a lot.
And you're right about some of these companies. They'll sell equipment to somebody. I've had one of them tell me, I confronted them about it, and they were like, if you think we're not going to let a sale go out the door, you're crazy. And
Yeah, because like, when we deal with supply houses, they're just trying to sell stuff. They're just trying to sell equipment, unfortunately. And I've dealt with a bunch of big commercial accounts, and just because they buy so much equipment, they bend over backwards for those customers, those accounts. And those customers buy their own equipment, and of course they choose who they want to install it or whatever. Like I said, I used to work for IHOP, or with IHOP. And once they got their maintenance guys, those guys that they took from us were not licensed. They didn't even have EPA or anything like that. yet they were doing HVAC work, putting in equipment and stuff like that. And the customer bought their own equipment so they could get away with it that way. But that stuff happens. And then they call us. They try getting us back a few times, but it never works out. But, stuff goes in and it's not installed right or not working right. Then they call you. Let's see. Oh, Chris in the building. We got Chris from HVAC Guy Videos.
Hey, Chris.
Let's see. Oh, we got Tito in here stirring the pot. Yeah, we're just trying to encourage anybody that's here. That's all we're here for. Let's see. Oh, I gotta check the chat. Let's see. Had a place install 448 condensers paired with 404 valves. Complained they were icing up. Don't let places buy their own equipment. I run into that a lot. And then we have one right now, and I knew something was up. They buy their own equipment. Usually they do a good job. They have a guy, but I think they let him go, up north, that kind of oversees all their purchases, and he used to do HVAC. So I've never had an issue with him. I always give them like what they need. If they need a new unit, the tonnage, the model, whatever we can to match it up, and then we go in and put it in. They buy it and we put it in. And then the other day I went to, and I did a video on it, or it was part of the video, and it was 2 hours away, but I was like, let me go look at it, because the problem with customers buying their own equipment is it's usually not, they don't buy the right one, or they don't buy anything that goes with it, curb adapters or things like that. So sure enough, I went out there and I'm like, these are way bigger than what they have on the roof. And what happened was the old units were 10-ton units. The new ones were 12-ton units. And I just found out, because I was like, why did they have 12-ton units if we gave them the model number and everything of the old one, the information? Well, they had bought these for a different location that got canceled, and they are pushing us to put these in at this other location, even though they don't fit. So I deal with that a lot. I deal with it quite a bit.
They're having buyer's remorse.
They're like, we have to use them. They're sitting there. And I'm like, man, I don't know if we can do this one. Tito, don't be nervous. Do you still warranty equipment the customers buy? Nope, I don't.
No.
If they buy it, they understand that that's on them. And I mean, I'll be honest. If I mess up or do something on the labor side, I warranty that. But if it's the equipment, that's on them. Maru, a lot of companies are hiring their own in-house techs. Do you think this will affect us?
Oh,
Nothing really
you
affects
talking
us too
about
much.
big restaurant companies or something like that? Is that what he's talking about?
We deal with it with restaurants, and we also deal with it sometimes with the places that like sell equipment. They might have their own techs that go out there and try and fix, the stuff that they sell. But honestly, some of them get away with they'll find a good tech that they hire, but for the most part, they're just hiring anybody. They might not have experience, and guess what? They end up calling us. So
Yeah, I don't worry about that.
It circles around.
I've got that big apartment complex I told you about has 6 apartments.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than that, but some of them I don't go to because they're out of town. They have maintenance men who they want to try to do HVAC and they send them to school for HVAC, but it hasn't affected my workload not one single bit because they just don't have any experience and they learn enough in tech school. I mean, I don't know what they're learning in our tech school because it don't seem like they're teaching them anything. Guys come out of school and don't even know how to put on their gauges.
Oh man, yeah,
So I
like
don't worry about them doing work and stuff like that because they might be able to tell me, "Hey, I think we need a blower motor or something," and then I get the job. So I don't worry about that.
yeah. If anything, they might just tell you what's wrong with the unit or something like that. Because once it starts getting complicated, they're kind of screwed. Yeah, like they probably won't be able to fix it, or they mess something up. I get that all the time, and we're at a point, or we learn kind of quick. Like if we lose work to a maintenance guy, to a friend of a friend, to a company that maybe just started out that doesn't have a good reputation or something like that, it's nothing to lose sleep over. As long as you do your work, the way you do it, do it right, have the quality as best to your abilities, you'll always have work. We don't worry about that. Sam Andrew, Curtis, is your new van an issue with glass panels or vandalism?
Well, first of all, I don't really live in a city. I live, I work in Albany, but you're talking about a population of 85,000. So, most of it's more like a rural area. You don't have to worry about it that much. And then where I park it at night, nobody knows where that is. So I don't worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, as much equipment as we have, like you would think we need to worry about it more. But same thing here. I've been telling myself to kind of lock it down more, but add those locks that everybody puts on the back doors and stuff like that. I never got around to it, but I haven't had any issues around here. For the most part, like I don't have that issue at work either. Let's see. Tech school taught me nothing. I learned everything myself. That's the way. If you go to school, if you go to a good school, you're just going to learn your basics. Hopefully, they teach you how to put your gauges on and everything because that's part of it. You're just going to learn your basics and kind of the lingo, like superheat, subcool, kind of know what components are and stuff like that. You're not going to know how to fix anything until you actually get out there and get experience. Uh, yeah, like Richie says, school is good if you take it serious and if you go to a good school too.
Well, here's the deal. The knowledge is there. You gotta want it because well, like the school here, they'll pass you even if you don't show up.
Yeah, I was never a school person, and I'll admit I didn't enjoy it all the time, but you just got to soak it in and learn as much as you can. Uh, okay, so we're way over an hour now, but I don't want to
Well,
keep you too long. Huh?
yeah, it'd be a good time to drop off. I gotta go get something to eat.
Yeah, I got to do the same thing. So, let me just look at something real quick. What tool bag are you rocking, and any tool that you recommend?
I'm using the Tech MCT Blackout by Vito. By far, that's my favorite so far. I've got the regular Tech MCT, but it don't have those pockets in the sides.
Yeah, whenever they do the blackout ones, they always add so many pockets and different things.
I like that one. Any tool I'd recommend. I'll tell you one tool that I use, and when I lost it, I had to buy one immediately. And that's that DIY vac you put on your wet dry vac to vacuum out the drains.
Oh,
That thing
really?
worked so good, I had to have it. As soon as I lost it, I had to go get another one.
I think I saw you with that one. I need to try that one out. All right, guys. So yeah, we've been here over an hour. Appreciate everybody that came through. Thank you, Curtis, for hopping on the show. And
Thank you for having me.
like you said, like we could do probably a ton of more videos on some of these conversations. So maybe we'll do it again another time, talk more business and work stuff.
Yeah, it was good talking to you.
Appreciate it. So I'm gonna sign off. I'll see you guys.
Y'all take care.
All right. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. That was a great stream. Loved all the questions in the chat. Appreciate everybody who tuned in. And like I said, if you guys want to listen to this later on, if you join late or you can't see the whole video on YouTube, it is a podcast. I try to upload it the next day. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. See you guys.